Welcome tuelimishwe kwa masuala ya jamii, tutumbuizwe sana mbalimbali, tujuzwe juu ya matukio ya kila pembe, wapa burudani kwa familia nzima.
Good evening. Welcome to the Men's Den. My name is Likuyani Eli, and of course, we are right here on time for the Men's Den. In case you're joining us for the very, very first time, the Men's Den happens every single Tuesday right here on the Arts in Heart. So let's get this started, because I'm told men are becoming stingy. Or are we not just stingy? We just have some principles. To get us started, I see the backstage is full. Let's start with Mwathi James. Good evening, sir, and how are you? Mwathi, take that again.
I see you admitted me. You have started the discrimination as usual, but I am fine. I am grateful. I think I've had the term Stingy Men's Association. Let's see how it goes, but glad to be here as always, and welcome to all our audiences.
Okay, definitely. And I know, Mwathi, we've had this conversation in the past, but this one, I think it's going to be a bit different, because the African man is here tonight. Good evening, Mr. African man. And how are you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
Definitely loud and clear. Go ahead, sir. I hope
yes, I'm ready for the topic. It's quite a sensitive one. Yes, stingy men. We are stingy of principles. Yeah, this one I'll wait for you guys to go fast. Then I'll do it. But it is what
why do you like passing over the blame, sir? But I know for sure, if we talk about the responsibilities and what men are supposed to be doing, there's one single man here that will always advocate for the opposite. Gilbert Makomere. Good evening, Mr. Researcher, and get your microphone for us before you go. Okay, good.
Good evening, Ellie. How are you guys?
We are great. How are you?
I'm okay. Long time. Happy to hear from you, African man. Thank you, James from Nairobi. Asante sana. And yes, men are stingy. Yes, we say it in capital word, stingy. And that's the main problem of main problem of our society issues.
These bonga points are being looked for.
You know what? We will be bringing on later Eshuchi Lumumba, but guys, we have had this discussion in the past, but we saw it relevant to have it tonight, because apparently we always have some loose 5,000 shillings lying somewhere. James.
You see, with every conversation that I engage in, I want to engage from an informed point of view. I would be very afraid to jump into a conversation before I am quite clear on what I'm discussing. Why do I say that? When we say men are stingy, what exactly are we saying? Are we saying that men do not provide for what they're supposed to provide? Are we saying that they are not responsible? Are we saying that they are not providing sherehe? Are we saying, what is all this stingy about? The reason I start with this is because depending on the approach that you take, then that question can be answered either way. If stingy means I'll not support your sherehe anytime you think that you need to pick a sherehe, then I'm stingy, yes. If stingy means that when we look at responsibilities, then that will be a problem. If I am not able to provide for my or to take part of my responsibility.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way, and this is the time I would like to actually invite Eshuchi to come in. Somebody sends you a message, tells you tonight is my birthday or tomorrow will be my birthday. Send me that 5K for my friends and I to enjoy a cake courtesy of you. Shuchi, Lumumba, as you introduce yourself, are you going to do this kind of so-called nonsense stance to be not stingy?
Hi everybody, welcome to the show tonight. It's nice having you back. Gilbert Wednesday, I have missed you. Welcome on the show. I think that Stingy Men Association that James was talking about, I could easily be the chair. So I know I'm not going to do that.
I knew it. I knew it.
I could easily be the chair of that association.
Yeah, so all right.
I'm not going to do that. The interesting thing is, I know the question is hypothetical, that if someone sends me a message and asks me for that 5 Gs that they want to have a party with, it's very hypothetical for me because you wouldn't ask me that. If you know me, you wouldn't.
Why can't a Bay ask you for 5K to have a party with it? After all, you're supposed to be a gentleman.
Let me, before Suji, just allow me a minute, kindly.
Yeah, sure.
Of your time. Because I'm thinking, who is this who is asking you for this lose 5K? You know? Because again, there are categories. If it is somebody who is close to you and you know that there is something coming up, and I'm following the hypothesis, the hypothetical question that you posed, Eddie. If it's somebody who is close to you, for example, a partner, why would they have to ask? I would assume, and I know now, I knew Gilbert will come in. I just knew.
Why would they have to ask? And you know you're obligated to spend.
Exactly. If it's
Are we obligated to spend, Gilbert?
No, wait. Stop hijacking my conversation. Can I finish? And then Gilbert will come in. If it's somebody who is close to you, for example, a girlfriend, here we are men, so let's talk about our spouses and our girlfriends and all that. Then it follows that even before, you don't have to tell me tomorrow is your birthday. I know it pre. So it is only good manners, and it is only the manly thing to do that you will initiate that conversation and you will provide whatever is supposed to be provided. That is one part of a relationship. Now, my problem comes to these random people. You are an acquaintance, you are a friend, yes. We hang out every so often, but not that often. Why am I responsible for your sherehe? Why am I, if you can't afford your habits, can you stay at home? I will not pay for people's luxuries.
Now, Gilbert, I think before we go on, we just need to give some people character development. And we'll say we want to get this narrative clear. Stingy, unwilling to spend.
On what?
On what?
They listen.
On who?
First.
For what?
They have, but they are unwilling to spend. Those are the men we are talking about. Our society nowadays, as we have discussed, is cropping up of men who fear responsibility because we fail it from inception. We don't inculcate the culture of responsibility in the men we have around. Eshuchi, before we go on, because this is character development. You might find yourself in this. What you are saying, Eli, if we have men who are responsibility means even the people you're hanging around with must know
you are their provider.
You don't just wake up. We have a society that is seeking fame and chasing clout. You want to call yourself chairman, but you are unwilling to do what chairmen do. That's where the problem comes. We are looking for fame, but we don't want to account for it. Let us live within our means. Let us live simple and be true to those people who mean the world to us. Let us not seek to be a chairman to everyone, like a Shuchi running around wanting to be fame in Nairobi town. But you can't.
No. we give a city right of reply?
I have a counter. I have a counter for Gilbert. I have a counter for Gilbert. Gilbert, I take back my words of welcoming you back. You should have stayed where you are because your contribution is not beating up this conversation. But I get where you're coming from. However, this is it, Gilbert. I get where you're coming from totally, but I have a retrospect to your perspective. This is how I look at it. Most people who end up with titles like chairman and kiongos and all that actually don't give themselves that title. Those titles are given to them by manipulators who want to use the titles to trap them into obligations they are not aware of. So someone comes to you from nowhere, unapita tu wote anakuambia kiongozi karibu bana, kiongozi njaa imetuuma. Sasa already they give you that. Now the problem between now the stingy man and the other men that you want to call generous, but I want to call them stupid and thin-skinned. Thin-skinned in the sense that you can be manipulated to use your own resources however someone wants you to use them. Like you're someone who doesn't have a plan. Like wewe in Nairobi umekuja tu kushughulika na ujui pesa zako ni za nini. So listen, we have people who've manipulated terms and use these terms as traps. So they guilt trip you by terms and definitions and demands so that you fall victim of judgment if you are not able to actually uphold the expectations that they come with. So someone asks you, manze suni sort hapo hivyo hivyo. So you are afraid to say no because then they will term you stingy and you don't want to go down as that stingy person. So thing is this, let's just redefine our terms properly. And half the people wenye wanaitwa chairman in Nairobi, MCA, Bazenga, hawa kwani wamejipatia hizo majina. Mtu anakukujia tu anakuita Bazenga, unajua bas, huyu anataka kitu. Unafanya nini? Unamwambia uko si kwangu. Back to you in studio, Eli. Gilbert, uko okla.
Mbona hawaiti kila mtu? Mbona hawaiti kila mtu? You attract what you keep around you.
But you see, let me tell you, Gilbert. In communication, if I spoke to you and you interpreted what I did not mean, that is none of my business. That's a you problem. If I am dressed in a particular way, if I carry myself around in a particular way and you feel that you need to associate with me, then just assimilate yourself into me, but don't call me to your party. I mean, it is not my problem that you want to live like you do, and I have no accountability to you as to how I carry myself around because I'm within my organization, I'm within my means, and I'm within the image I'm trying to perceive up there. So that is on me. The interpretations that you have and expectations you have on me make you a beggar, and that is not on me.
So
what are you usually saying? Just hold on a minute. I just want one sentence. Esuchi, I usually tell people, I am responsible for what I say. How you interpret it, it's entirely up to you. I interpret it however you want, to the moon and back. I am not there. What I say, I am usually very clear with my words. I will mean what I say. How you interpret it, hiyo ni shauri yako.
Fine. How we interpret could be the issue. Matasio is here and I can tell he has something to say. Sijui ndio ile noisy debe ama the silent one. But Matasio, before you take your comment and your contribution to this, let's just bring in the viewer's perspective. And tonight we're discussing about, are men really stingy or I'm not stingy? I'm just principled. We have Kipro Roda who says good evening and good evening to you, Kipro. James, uko sawa kabisa. Dance to you and bia kwako on that note. Thank you so much. We have
I follow that beer.
That is just Carol. Just Carol amesema atakushughulikia on that note. Sawa, we mtafute huko kwa comment section. James, that is being stingy. I don't know what James said that is making him stingy. Being stingy compared to principles? That's a question this Albrians is asking. Is it a matter of principle or wewe umekuwa tu stingy? Mensden, leo mko na ukali sana Wakeji Kamore. Thank you so much Wakeji. It's been long since you are here, but karibu sana. Welcome back to the Mensden. Let me take one more here from Carol. Says, if you can't take care of Bay, only you even be able, will you even be able to take care of family when time comes? These are the small things.
That is an example of those, that's an example of those manipulative phrases I was talking about. Ashakuchapa na hiyo amekuuliza if you cannot take care of me, would you even be able? Ameshaanza amekuchapia huko sweep chini. So now you're living in limbo.
He asked the shooter to defend himself.
No. I want to contextualize our conversation. Unaona, it's not even taken a second. Imekuja. Washakuambia mazee sasa wewe kama uwezi nini hata utawezana na hii maneno, Don't sentence.
Okay, and you guys understand we multi-stream on stream page, and this is Tony Blair who says Tina pesa si shida, madam squeezy. They believe in money more than God, and I think we've made a small God out of these men. Matasio Kagwa, what is your opening remarks on this topic?
Matasio hajaongea.
Sijaongea bado.
The show is ending.
Nilikuwa nakoja mrepo kwanza. First of all, in fact, I have already a problem with the topic itself, but I will tune in. First of all, on a very clear basis, this is an advice. If everybody lived within their means, nobody will call the other one stingy.
Yeah.
First, my opening remark: if everybody lived within their means, there would be nothing like
you underline the word everybody. Gilbert,
why is Gilbert? That statement is not glorifying you. That statement is not glorifying your position, Gilbert. Get this clearly. You want to confuse the viewers.
Please, it's just my opening remark.
Okay, Matasio.
It's just my opening remark. Just an advice.
Okay, Matasio, please advance.
And that means I will within your means. That means, for example, if you say you are a student, okay, and you are a student, at this moment you'll be living on something that is called pocket money. You know, it may be from uncle, papa, whatever. So because you're still being taken care of by society. That means your means at that moment, you are a taken care of person. You accept that situation. If you're gonna think now, because of pocket money, I can also take care of a girlfriend, you are already in another lane. You understand? Because you are being taken care of. And for that reason, for you to be able to learn how to take care of yourself later than someone else. So if everybody live within their means, there'll be no stingy person. Now, I'll come to my friend Gilbert. I saw in your discussion it's a little bit misguiding because I see you put two words in the same sentence that shouldn't. You cannot put irresponsibility and stingy in the same sentence trying to define the same person. That one, I have a problem with it. So let us stop from the beginning. Let us not even try to link being the word stingy to irresponsibility. That's something very different. I may refuse to give Kilampita Njia. Luyas, we have this thing we call mbeho mbeho. You understand? That culture of mbeho mbeho. You come from Nairobi, you land at the bus station, the first mbeho, mbeho, mbeho. By the time you reach your village, you are supposed to have given 1,000 people on the road money. We call it mbeho mbeho. When you say no, you'll come in the closet of stingy. You understand? So that one, it is very clear that irresponsibility has nothing to do with being stingy. I may refuse those mbeho, but when I come home, I make sure my wife has gotten what she wants, my mother has gotten what she wants, my kids are okay, there is food on the table, wafanyikazi wamelipwa, lakini mimi sijakupatia pesa kwa barabara za changa. Kwa hapo mimi niko stingy. Same to women, the same story. So that is what I got. So my first view is let us not confuse irresponsibility and stinginess. When we do that, we are now going to empower and facilitate that behavior Ishuchi is talking about. Ila kukata chini miguu. You cannot even buy me a drink. Will you pay school fees? Where has got you buy new beer to do with you? Buy new wine, guarana go to do with you pay school fees. Where?
No, they say if you have to take guarana, it's because you want one for the road. But there's a lady here who is expressing her opinion. Usianze, women are working for their own money. So if I ask you for kitu kidogo to add to my need, ni shida. Men, stop being stingy, aye?
It doesn't matter.
No, wait,
James.
Ellie. I think we have a problem with an entitled crop of women who are coming up and they feel like it is the responsibility of men to take care of them. Now, why do I say this? Again, just coming from that, hold on your horses, you'll get your time. Just coming from that conversation, the lady says, mukimaliza muniambie. Mukimaliza kucheka muniambie.
No, nakuvil demo.
No, Gilbert, I'm not done with that point. Why would a woman say that she's already earning her own money but wants you to add? Why? Are you obligated? And this is the entitlement that I'm talking about. Earn your money, I earn my money. If I want to support you, you don't have to ask. Yeah, I will support you if I feel there is need to. Let me tell you a real life scenario. I am usually very generous. I know that's a weakness that I have, but I will purpose that this weekend I'm going out. I will use 3,000 or 5,000, and I'll go out and I'll buy you and you and you, and that's it. My problem starts when somebody asks. Because if you're going out, if you had planned to go out, why are you planning with my pockets? It doesn't make sense to me. And that's what I think African man is saying. Learn to live within your means. Yeah. Do not go out with the expectation that I can see there'll be 3 men there. Everyone will throw me 1 round. That's bullshit.
Ellie, before James goes on, I think he has been told to go read the book of Genesis. Men are obligated to take care
of every woman that is walking around the earth.
Listen. We are not talking about every woman. Not every woman will call you stingy.
But I think that's the problem.
No.
That's the problem. We're not talking about every woman.
We're talking about those
Gilbert, you're not listening. Gilbert, you're not listening to me. I started by saying your special person, she does not even have to ask. Yeah. It is your duty. You should know.
Ellie,
your special person. But these other everybody who is walking around.
Ellie.
We said we fail to contextualize this topic. That's why guys are able just to run around with words without contextualizing. What you are saying, Ellie, not just everyone will call you stingy. You attract what you are, Ellie. You influence people.
No, I will refuse.
Ellie, listen, you allow me to put my point, huh?
May I throw
if you are man, if you are not stingy, then allow me.
You will not blackmail us. You will not blackmail us with words.
Ellie,
okay. You guys seem to be fighting this young man.
Point of order.
Yeah, why are you fighting me if you are not stingy?
Please.
Are you stingy? Let me just ask this to Matasio. Are you stingy because Gilbert seems to have an issue with you as a person who is not providing?
No, I'm not.
Why is it that you don't allow me even to talk?
No, because
those are the traits of stingy men.
You gave me an opening remark, and I saw we are already getting off the track. I was just putting us back on track, but you cut me short. If you had listened to my next point, my next point was this. First, I talked about everybody living within their means. Second point is this. Whoever calls another one stingy is automatically calling himself a beggar. That's my second point. Whoever calls the other one stingy is automatically calling himself a beggar. Yes. Now, the one men are stingy or not, my question is this. According to who? If your mother calls you stingy, it's a different story. If your own son calls you stingy, it's a different story. If your ex calls you stingy, it's a different story.
She's experienced you, that's why.
Calls you stingy, it's a different story. So, first of all, it is very misappropriating situations, putting everything in one basket. Because the title says, man, I am not stingy, I'm just principled. So let us look stinginess versus principles. That's what we have to look at. So the principle is this. Are you the kind of man who just gives out money because to please women, to please friends, kutengeneza jina kwa bar? Or are you somebody who shares the whatever you have with people who matter to you? Now, if you share with people who matter to you, there is a very small chance that somebody will call you stingy. Because
Matasio, thank you for that opening point. But let's take a quick one, because I see the audience actually contributing to this conversation. I would like to get their perspective and allow the panelists tonight that are here to actually respond and digest this. So you're watching the Men's Den, which is really heated tonight because men here, they seem to be pulling on one end, and poor Gilbert seems to be in a Lone Ranger sort of situation. What are we talking about? We're talking about I am not stingy, I'm just principled. We take a quick break, and when we're back, we want to discuss more and more about this and other topics tonight. Welcome back to the Men's, and I'm here with Eshuchi Lumumba and the rest of the panelists will be joining as we continue with this conversation. Eshuchi, a question here from the audience. I want you to take that one, and then let's bring in mtetezi wa haki za akina mama.
Tatiana Scarlett, she's asking, let me ask, strictly focusing on relationships, would you expect support from a woman you are not supporting? What I love about this question is when a woman is bringing this question of sharing or support, it comes on condition. It's pegged on you supporting me, so therefore I will support you. But the expectation of the woman to a man is unconditional. They feel entitled to your support to them. But when it is their support to you, then it has to be pegged on your previous support to them. So that means the generosity of a woman to a man, according to Tatiana Scarlett, is a reaction to the man's generosity. It is not an initiation of generosity in itself. And I took a pause for a minute when these men wanted to bite each other. I went to the traditional definition of stingy. I have it here with me. Stingy means someone who is mean and ungenerous. That's what stingy is in its very primary definition. But then again, I got into a little digging and tried to ask the Google dictionary, what is an example of a stingy person? And we're like, a stingy person is someone who has a lot of resources and possessions, but cannot share to people who might be in need of them or people who might be close to them. That is the definition of stingy. So I think our definition already rules off the fact that stingy could even be associated with strangers. If you are a stranger, unless we are speaking charity, unless we are speaking a beggar on the road, unless we're speaking someone who desperately needs my help, and I deliberately, meanly withhold my help from them, then perhaps I am being stingy. But you are not going to come at me after a conversation or two, and all of a sudden, these days you start a conversation with somebody and they ask for a favor, and always all of a sudden they are stuck because they don't have lunch all of a sudden, or all of a sudden something is just up and they've not paid their rent. And usually what I tell you is, by the way, my question is usually standard when you ask me for money and I don't know you that much. I always tell you I don't involve myself in financial involvement with people I do not know. That is my standard answer. And it's because, number one, for me, that is setting precedence. Because like I tell you, if I was dating you, trust you me, you wouldn't need to ask for money when you need the money and I know you need it. That is what we call common sense. Let me finish because najua Gilbert anataka kuja. And for you to get to a point where you expect me to do this to you, tutakuwa tumefika mahali penye it is not a question anymore. But if we don't know each other, you will not insist me to give you money. You will not. I will be stingy. Okay. Gilbert, you can come in.
Gilbert, just kindly respond to this, and then let's bring in the rest of the panel.
Let me just add, before I respond to this, let me add to his definition. He is a miser. He doesn't like to spend money, even on himself. Even on himself. So it starts with you, as I said earlier. You are what you want people to treat you to be. Kama wewe mwenye hata unaogopa kuspend on yourself, how would you spend even on that woman? And if you are afraid to spend on even wewe mwenyewe, Eli, baki with yourself. Don't go out looking for some other people to be in your life. It starts with you as a person. It stems from us. So as a man, first of all, are you able even to support yourself before you need to support someone else?
Gilbert, it does not matter how much emotion you give in your presentation. There is something that I feel you're getting wrong. There's something that I feel we need to redefine this before we come back to this conversation. I think, I'm so sorry, Gilbert. No, this is not even an attack to you. I just think we are deviating a bit.
Do you mind me sharing my views and then you'll come in?
Okay, sure, Gilbert.
That's the meaning of not being stingy. Thank you, my brother. As Matasio said, if you are responsible enough to spend within your means, Ellie, you learn to know that it cares a lot to start spending on yourself before you can take on other people. And you cannot go, I didn't mean you go out there being generous to everyone. Man, it takes time to make. That it does not just go easily. If you see someone spending money on you easily, watch out their motive, not their character. Thank you.
Great. Ishuti, I know you have a lot of responses, but let me allow the rest of the panel to actually take
Sure.
Let's start with you, Matasio, because you're always the last one here. But today, go before James.
Yes. To answer a question or to go on with my views, because there are two things here.
If we decide to answer all the questions, then we'll stay here for the rest of the night. Just give me your view on this topic. Yes, we're talking about principles, sir. Before we left, you were talking about principles.
Yes.
And so, now there's an issue that is arising of a woman that believes if you are in a relationship and then you are pegging the giving to what they're receiving, where do we lose the principle of giving and taking, Rani Matasio?
First of all, when it's within a relationship, we wouldn't even know. We wouldn't even know whether one is borrowing or not borrowing, because that is a mutual relationship where already you have a basis, be it on financial support, be it on emotional support, be it on social support, on anything, visiting, going out, buying presents, all those things. So, but what we're discussing now, this stinginess is based on the money that somebody asks. Let's be very clear. We are not talking about, it was my birthday, he didn't even send me a postcard. We are not talking about that stinginess. We are just talking about cash money. That's where the problem is. A man who don't spend cash money. And this cash money, we are limiting it to relationships. First of all, dating is a very important. Dating is a very important stage in life. Are you old? Are you young? Or whatever? Because that is where you set some goals like financial goals. To be honest, as Eshuchi says, you say in the beginning, I do not involve myself financially with strangers. Period. The moment will come, if this person is not a stranger to you anymore, you will start to discuss money. About the question of support, whether you can expect support from a partner who supports you or not. Of course, that's why people come together, to be able to support each other. You understand? And for me personally, I'll tell you, leave alone relationships. There are so many friends you always go like, it doesn't matter. Kwa mwezi huwezi kosa kuinuana na best yako with 50 euro there, 100 euro there, 20 euro there, because next time it will come. It is very normal. It's very normal. You know, let me call Matashi Maze vile kuko saizi niaje. Okay, no problem. Because I know next time I'll also call the Shuchi. So that's also within your means of supporting each other. You understand? Because I know Shuchi atoka tuko siku moja ananiambia Matashi niaje, African man, can you throw me 1 million tutaongea baadaye? Where do I get a million? Even if I've got millionaire friends, you know. So then the Shuchi go and tell me, Matashi is stingy. No, it doesn't work like that. So
it doesn't work like that.
It is still within even the people. Gilbert says you attract the people. Yeah, of course. I will attract people around and they'll know like, okay, this Matasio guy, we hang around with him. We have a level of financial things we can deal with. No. It doesn't matter, you know. He knows I want to go visit a Shuchi. I'm in Nairobi, he's in Kakamega. Matasio can afford to pay for his own transport, come back, we hang around, we go out. He said, lazima nilipie Matasio fare atoke Nairobi kuja kuniona Oshago, nimfanyie kila kitu, lazima nimshikie kuku wa naye Nairobi. Na hata haiji nilipia fare. Pia
James,
so,
James,
that one, let's be clear.
James, in your aid, Jakita says maybe some ladies should level up. Let him be the one who decides to give you money and be able to be okay whenever he gives you something or not. You are not necessarily, you do not necessarily need his money.
Good.
You know, Eli,
what do you say of this?
I have listened to these men, your men talk. And I have so much to say until I don't know where to start. Number one.
That's right, Abu.
That's what I'm thinking. That should be the next step. Number one. When a woman expects that you will provide so that she can do something in return, that has become transactional. The relationship there is purely transactional. There is some echo. I don't know. There is a lot of echo. So when there is that expectation that because I am your friend or I hang out with you, you need to throw me 2,000 every so often so that I can do 1, 2, 3 for you. That is a bogus relationship. Okay, it's not bogus, but let's define it for what it is. It is transactional. There's no friendship there. It's purely based on money. Number two, I listened to Gilbert and I think he has completely failed to see where we're coming from. Because, and I agree with him partly when he says we attract what we are. But conversely also, every person will have hanger-ups. Every person will have people around them who are there to benefit in one way or the other, and some for manipulation purposes. Now, I started by saying that anybody who is close to you, who you know and who you interact with, when they are in need, there is no barrier. They will outrightly tell you, Gilbert Niaje, I am down. I need 20 euros, 20 whatever. And at times, depending on the level of the relationship, you do not even have to explain why you need it. I have very many friends, okay, not very many, but I have friends who I can pick a phone and call and say, I need 20,000 in the next 1 hour. And they will look for the 20,000 and give and then ask later, what was it about? But that is dependent on the level of the relationship that you have with this person. I think the problem that we are having and the question that we are trying to address today is this random opposite gender who you'll have known for 2 weeks, and because you look like you know how to dress or like you know how to take a good shower, they think that you can throw them 5,000 every other weekend. Or probably you met once in a club and you are generous enough and you bought them drinks and they formed a perception that you can be able to be throwing around, so they want to hang around you so that for their own benefit. And that's the kind of people who I'm saying sorry, whatever perception you had of me, that is your own perception. I do not care, but I will not bend over backwards to your whims. And then, and this is my last point, so that I allow other people. There are some friends of the opposite gender who might be well-intentioned or might be in real need of the money, but they lack emotional intelligence. They take you at face value. They think because you laugh and every so often you throw a row, and every so often they think they can get whatever they want anytime they want. Now the problem and the emotional maturity comes in when you hesitate or you do not fulfill their wants. They get angry at you. And you wonder, okay, was I obligated? But I agree 112% with Matasio when he says, stingy according to who? I would be very worried if my mother said I'm stingy. I'd be very worried if my brother, my sister, my girlfriend, my wife, the people who matter to you, if they termed you as stingy, that would be very worrisome. The rest of the world, I do not give a hoot.
Fine. Let me take a few comments from the comment section from the viewers, and then I have a couple of questions that I would like for you guys to actually help us understand. Just Carol says that if you have paraded my base, my base, shauri yenyu mtahangaika tu, hao ndio wanaitwa stingy, lakini your own person can't. Okay, you know the drill, right? Special persons ni girlfriend ama wife, because I know guys out here who wouldn't want to treat their girlfriends either, be it the tiny things like shopping or big things like bills. Okay, fine. Huku Sara kazi yake ni kuchocha watu, wanaambia Carol ongeza volume. Let's see, Njekita, sometimes these men will never give you nothing as long as you are earning. Men, stop being stingy. Hashtag. Hey. Okay. Whoever hurt you, girl. Gas imeisha. The common one. Gas imeisha. As African man points out, don't be with someone and start thinking that you have to beg. Secondly, learn about the man you are with and take time to know him as you date. Thank you so much. Eshuchi, I gently need 2K. The nurse amesema. Umeelewa? Umeambiwa umemwonea 18.
Namuona huyu hata anajua what she's reacting to. I made a controversial post on Facebook and defined 2K, so that's where she's coming from. I told you I'm the chair of that association.
With no apology.
And I affirmed.
Yeah. So I want to come in before. Elia, you still reading comments?
Let me just take a few more here. Zena says, how are you to you, Zena? Long time no see. Kipro Rhoda again. I think this is her topic. I don't know who hurt you, but it's all right. Sarah and Jonjo, among others. Zena says, let me conclude with this. A girlfriend, boyfriend is not your responsibility. Get out, work for your money. Gentlemen, we can argue, and there's a word that James loves to use, until the cock comes to roost.
Until the cows come home.
Until the cows come home. That's the word that he likes. But let's agree on one thing. Men have to take responsibility. But who are you supposed to be responsible for or to? Let's start with you, Eshuchi.
Who am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to peg this answer to the topic at hand, that is stinginess?
Exactly.
Because then that's a bit far-fetched. Well, responsibility is to me pegged to obligation, and for something to be your responsibility, then you have to also be responsible for its inception. Or you also have to be responsible for its well-being. So if you go somewhere to look for a house that you want to live in and you feel you can afford it, then it's your responsibility to pay that rent. If you tell someone's daughter, hey, listen, I think it's time for us to move in together, then you made the move, and that means if they live with you, it's your responsibility to ensure they have a roof over their head. There's where the responsibility is drawn onto the line. But there's also the question of support. And support comes in because conversation happens within the structures of responsibility. This is what I'm responsible for, but within this responsibility, this is what I expect of you. And just to peg it back to our conversation on stinginess, this is how I look at it. If you know me very well, we are in a relationship and you understand me. For us to be in a relationship, there are things about us that we have to have disclosed to each other. You probably know what my financial status looks like. You probably know what I do. For you to ask me for something that I cannot afford, just for fun, because you're trying to profile me or trying to decide or trying to test if I'm actually responsible, already that for me is disrespectful, because then it means you have no respect for my priorities, you have no respect for my ability. And this, you know, sometimes I think we are making a conversation out of this topic carelessly. But I know of men out here who are actually living in debt. We have men out here who are living in, almost getting into depression because they cannot say no to these stupid, I call them very unsolicited advances to be providing money and finances. And sometimes I think females are not stupid. It's not like they do these things accidentally. They know what they're coming for. So they come and they test the waters and they want to see, okay, if I push this button on this end, how much further am I able to push on this person? And half the time, the men who will constantly ask you for money, I mean the women I have a feeling they have the least regard for you. And trust me, when they're having their conversations, they talk about you when there's need. Bana leo tunaenda sherehe wapi? Si uite ule jamaa wako anafanyanga anatoanga form. That is as much as you're gonna be. Because then again, deep down, I think there's a place in a woman that really respects a man who can come up front and say, you know what? This is what you want. I cannot afford it for this and this and this. For example, I'll just profile you myself very quickly. I have my monthly obligations. For example, of course, we are talking about a monthly billing in our system. I have my monthly obligations, things I have to sort. Then perhaps here and there, I'll have a little loose there that's hanging on the entertainment section, blah, 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 here and there. And then I have an emergency. If your need does not fall into an emergency, there is no way I'm going to get that emergency thing and give it to you. Because I have a son who could fall sick tomorrow, and that's what I need an emergency for. You know, that kind of a thing. You're not going to tell me that all of a sudden you just need to do your hair or your nails and then have me go running to my emergency fund and give it to you. Can we define terms? Emergency, urgent. Define those terms and get them right. So my obligations end with the people that depend on me. They end with the responsibilities that I have subscribed to. Those that are owed to me. The responsibility that if the taxman was to trace back and say, this bill has not been paid, who is responsible? It goes without saying that a shuchi is the one responsible for this. You wanting to go out and doing a shere with your people is manze, it's not my responsibility. And if you are my girlfriend, you know that will go without saying. Because again, Mimi, like I told you in the other show here, there's the fallacy life that I think beats me. You do not want to explain to me how you want to be doing vacations every weekend. If you're rich and that's your life, well and good. But even in my life, I plan my life. And this is how I extend my generosity. I will ask myself a question. Is this something I would do for me naturally without feeling pinched? If I would do it for you. But if you want me to give you something I can't spend on myself, you want me to buy you a meal I can't naturally buy for myself, you want me to take you to a trip that I can't naturally afford for myself, I am not doing that.
Okay, Eshuji.
I am saying stingy. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I need you gentlemen to get out your calculators if you can, and let's do some little arithmetics here. Man A earns 100,000 shillings every single month.
No,
And,
the scientist will do for me the calculation.
In this particular month, the working number of days were 21. So on average, how much money did he make per day? If he earns 100,000 shillings a month, and he had to work for 21 days. How much did he make on average?
4,761.0000.
Okay, there is this bay that comes kwa sababu yatakana tatizo kama wanajiita nini, their name they use in Nairobi nowadays. You have to treat me like a bay. Is that the word?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. Okay.
Baby girl.
Baby girl comes, tells you, babe, I need 10K urgently to fix my nails. Tell me, how many of your days have you spent on this lady? Working for her emergency fund ya Makucha.
Those are 2.25 days.
Mr. African man, would it be prudent to give Bay money and make her feel she's baby girl? Or would you be stingy in this situation?
Before I answer the question, you know, I'm allergic to undefined terms. What is Bay?
Let me define. Let me break down that term. You know, I am part of the Kenyan dictionary. I'm part of the Kenyan. Matase, I'll help you. It is a very unconventional word, so I understand where you're coming from. I also have issues with such words, but we move on regardless. Baby girl is defined as you know, it's a term that is used to define a girl who has decided that they will use a fancy name to define or to decide that they are beggars. So they call themselves baby girls, and they want soft life. They call it soft life. They were not created to suffer. They were created to have a good life. Of course, at someone else's expense, but a good life. And yes.
Would you spend your 2.25 days of life?
They normally have like a normal girlfriend, a lineup. I'm how our sponsors.
No, jibu swali. Would you spend your 2.25 days on baby girl because she needs
baby to be... girl, what is she to me?
I know.
Just a person there that thinks they need a soft life.
If my sister, if it's my sister, she does soft life sour. It's no problem. Sister can pick a
emergency nails.
Eh?
Emergency nails because her nails was chipped out.
Nah, but you see,
Ellie.
Esuchi, before even African man comes in, I think no woman who respects you will take you down that line, that road. Because and I come to that because African man is saying if it is the sister, then he would, but the sister would naturally not go that route, because she understands the struggles involved. The person who will ask for such is somebody who has no regards for you or what you do.
Even your girlfriend will not. Even your true girlfriend will not ask for that.
This is somebody who looks at you like an
wa Gilbert Makomere ndo wataitisha vitu kama hizo. Hawa wakukujia out of nowhere. Mtu hata ujua anavaa kiatu namba gani. All of a sudden yeye hapo na emergency na ni wewe tu ndio mwokozi. Usipo come through
in this conversation.
Okay. Right. Okay, Gilbert, let me throw it at your table, Gilbert. I understand time is not really on our end.
I was not done.
No.
Ellie got tired.
Okay. It's okay,
Ellie got tired with you trying to define terms. Akatachana na wewe.
It's okay. But let me ask Gilbert this question, and it's not being unfair here, but Gilbert, this is the another scenario. You get a call and you're told, hey, yes, I've lost everything as I'm talking to you. Hata simu yangu imeibiwa. Nimeomba hii nikaweka line yangu ingine nikupigie. They lose everything, but when you meet them, they have the same handset, and they were asking you another 5K wachukue Uber kutoka Tao ujua wamegwama kwa jam ya pesa. Is this, when you say no to this demand, would you be stingy?
Ellie, first of all, tukienda kwa definition ya stingy, tumejua chenye imesema, you have, but uko afraid. Utaki kuspay, you are a mice event yourself. Secondly, Ellie, I said you attract who you are. Ellie, mi sako yangu sina hiyo attraction. So hakuna tu mtu ataamka niambie Gilbert nataka 10,000. I don't attract such. If it's my girlfriend, hata hitaji kuitisha.
reality
Na
yako
nitajua hanidanganyi kama ni girlfriend yangu nani tu huyo anamka hata sister
Can we
yangu.
make it in English so that we understand each other? Some of us are struggling to follow the conversation here.
Sorry, even my sister, she can't just wake up as Matasio said and asks you like she's stuck, and the way you're putting the statement, she'll be lying to you. I don't attract such. I put myself in a position, I attract people who can call me without explanation, as James has said. I will send them money, knowing what they're saying is true. We are a reflection of who we are to other people. How you treat yourself is how other people will treat you. Jiite chairman huku nje ukitaka kusplash pesa zenye umechukua loan. What you get next is you being called chairman, being called in the middle of the night. You are stuck here. We need
James. Thank you, Gilbert. James, situation number 3. We are in the room and Bay, now the original Bay, and you decide we're going on vacation. And I know we've used this analogy before, but now you are spending all your money planning the vacation until when you say, I cannot pay for the gas. Would you pay the gas? And then I say, ni mwanaume gani ubure wezi lipia kila kitu? Are we being principled when we say we have to share and come in the 50-50 that Matasio always preach for?
Again, I have said before, you need to be very careful about how you define your relationships. Is it a relationship or is it a transaction? Because if you're in a relationship and both of you are planning for this vacation, then this girlfriend, or bae as you're calling, the word that Matasio does not want. So I'll use girlfriend. If you're in this relationship and you're planning for a vacation with your girlfriend, and it does not matter the percentage of contribution, whether you're contributing 70 and she's contributing 30, or you're doing 50-50, you both know each other's financial position. So if gas quishes, like you're saying, then it's a matter of discussion. Uko na ngapi? Uko nayo ama hauna? It's not a fight. It is who. Do you have? Yes, then let's get gas. Do you have? No. Okay, then let's do this. Because again, you're working together towards a common goal. The problem comes when one is taking advantage of the other. And that's why I'm calling it a transaction. Yeah. So that is not an easy answer, Ellie, to say that if you do not pay gas, you're stingy, while you're building towards something together. That is more, it requires a more deeper conversation between the two of you. If you can't have that conversation, the two of you, we have a problem.
Matasio, so that you can have your moment of fame, allow me to involve you in this very interesting question that I will ask you, sir. If you, Matasio, and your woman, or your man, and in this case, I'll restrain to man because we are men here. I mean, woman, because we are all men here. Your woman, the ideal woman you have in your whole house, advances you money, like you said earlier, in terms of usage that is common for the common good of the partnership. Should you regard this as deni? And that's when Matasio went off.
Okay. First, the definition is very clear. Girlfriend, relationship, partner, wife, whatever. Even before that question comes, when you set it to date, you already have some relationship goals. You understand? You have already relationship goals. Personal things and collective things. You know, like we are buying a house together, you know we are buying a house together. And everybody knows what they're contributing. But maybe she also have her own agenda. She says, you know what, for me, I'm doing something, I have my own business. And it's very normal for a partner to borrow money, not to be given, just say, give me this 50K, me na biashara zangu na wanawake kule, it will come back, we sort you out. This is what we call soft family loans. Even in any financial business, they tell you, if you're starting something, start to borrow from the people around you. You understand? It can be your parents, it can be your brother. So that one is very normal. Your girlfriend, not bae. Your girlfriend, can come and tell you, mimi nafungua ka biashara kangu hapa niko na castles, unipatie ka 50k ka 100k niongezee. That's very normal. Failing to do that is actually worse than being stingy. That I tell clearly. That one is you empowering someone. You siya kutengeneza nywele, you sijui ati siya kuenda sijui wapi, ati sio ti birthday. No, that is something that falls in line of healthy relationship goals.
Healthy relationship goals. So as we wrap up tonight, what are the main things that you say, Eshuchi, I'm not financing. Take it or leave it. I'm not financing for you.
What doesn't make sense?
I can't do the consequences of that. I can't compartmentalize that. What I know is, like I've said before, my precedences will be set right. And number two, I am mostly an enabler. I will push you. I will help you network. If you need to make a move here and there, I will help you with that. By the way, I am very, very resourceful on that. I will facilitate you if there's something you're looking for. But I think at the end of the day, the best I will do, the most I will do is to try and ensure that you're also able to do it on your own. What I avoid doing is giving handouts. I will give you appreciations. You know, I am very happy with my girlfriend today. Hey, man, go treat yourself, go out with your friends, blah, blah, blah. What I'm talking about is, I think we have to agree as men on this talk today that at some point we missed the point. I think we're talking about stinginess in respect to, let me call them strangers for lack of a better word, because the in-house thing has a lot of dynamics that comes around it, because now we have people that come in. If it is my girlfriend, even what Matasio was saying, if it is a question of rent or something, there are bills that I personally, as a man, would want to take up. And if maybe I am late for rent and I ask you to pay rent, I think the me that I know will refund you that rent, because rent will be a responsibility of mine. That is okay. But you see, those are in-house dynamics. However, you are a stranger. You want this and this. I had a friend of mine the other day who lost his job. I took them out with the girlfriend. The girlfriend came and then I was treating them. I had budgeted. Then the girlfriend asked for Hennessy, a Hennessy bottle that was going for 8,500. I bluntly asked the girl, what is your house rent? Akaniambia analipanga bedsitter ya 5,500. Nikamuuliza, wewe unalipa rent ya 5,500 na unataka kuangusha mzinga ya mtu ya 7,500 in one weekend. Are you even being realistic? And your boyfriend is jobless. Well, they broke up. That was not my intention, but those are the stupid and silly things around these things. Men need to wake up and decide, you know what? I'm going to grow thick enough skin to know that this is where I say no. Don't take a loan to please baby girl. You know, don't do things that are unnecessary to please baby girl. Don't wake up, shower, fuel your car, go to work your ass for 2 and 3 days to spend all that money for baby girl to make their nail. Prioritize your things, manze. That's why COVID hit us, and in 1 month we could tell no one had savings, because men are making money, but they are not spending it. Afadhali tapatia mamako hiyo pesa bana. Our mothers are out in the village, they are suffering, and you're here ni sherehe na hii mabazenga. Gilbert unasikia anasema hapa, unaitwa tu kiongozi everywhere you go, wewe ni kiongozi na nyumbani mazee umpatie hata 200. Mimi nimefungia hapo.
It's all right. I will not allow a round of rejoinders because time is really not on our end. But then again, we keep the conversation going next week. Gilbert, no, nataka kunichapa. Just say your word. Say it.
Yeah, I think we need to finish up. All in all, we agreed. I think guys didn't get my point. Now they understood. To me, stingy was within. Maze, we have had it in this community we come from. There are men who are enabled, they have the money. They can't take care of their kids, their own families, their own parents, their own bills. You're earning early. But watu wanashangaa, early, where do you take your money? Hata rent hauwezi lipa. Hata chakula kwa nyumba hauwezi nunua. You are forcing your kids to go eat at your neighbor's place, but unatoka kila siku unaenda job. Guys know you are earning. Wanakuuliza, ulirogwa ama what happened? Let us be responsible. Budget, as the Shuchi has said. Spend on those we love. because they are the ones who will shield us. And the Shuchi karibu nikwambie, very stupid. Mbona unapeleka mwanamume mwenye amelose kazi na girlfriend yake out? So those are the stupid things you're saying.
I agree.
Gentlemen, time is not on our end. And of course, I'm told here by Matasio, those are not stingy. We call them deadbeats, like we defined them in our previous episode. And in case you haven't watched the men's, then get to our YouTube channel, TheArtsinHeart, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So every time we go live, you get notified. And remember, this show stays there. So do share with your friends and your enemies in that breath so that we get to learn from one another. Until next time, my name is Likuyani Eli, and we have, of course, Mwalimu Shuchi Lumumba all the way in Nairobi, Kenya, Gilbert Makomere in Oklahoma, USA. And of course, we have Matasio Kagwa in Utrecht. And of course, this is the one and only psychologist on the bench, Mr. Hey, James Mwati. Good evening and have a great night. Tuonane wase. Event imeisha. Kila mtu ende kivyake.
Bye bye.
Kila mtu ako na pombe.
Zaiwa zope zaiwa Bimana bala balai Panzana na bazonoe Ganga lokola kake Pona kadirati gamagisha Mobutu seseko Tozala sensen, tozala from Hypocrisy tomboy, ingratitude tomboy. Nani yako kiko sunga ekolo, soki Mobutu tena ni mosusue, Mobutu seko. Tozala sense, tozala from, hypocrisy tomboy, ingratitude tomboy. Nani yako kiko sunga ekolo, soki Mobutu tena ni mosusue, Mobutu seko. Yabisoko binda, Mobutu sese. Yabisoko binda, Mobutu sese, Mobutu. Zambe atinda komite central. Boke bana bandoki, etumbana bandoki esilite. Tango bokerete ni kadinda Mobutu. Botala nabino nabiso Mobutu. Bandoki basilite. Oh, yabisoko binda, Mobutu sese. Yabisoko binda, Mobutu sese, Mobutu. Zambe atinda komite central. Boke bana bandoki, etumbana bandoki esilite. Tango bokerete ni kadina Mobutu. Botala nabino namiso Mobutu. Bandoki basilite. Zelela Mobutu.